Hey guys, this is Daaro DS, and welcome back for more Higurashi When They Cry, the horror visual novel created by Seventh Project. And we're on episode 14. Last episode, we had Rena go completely bonkers on us. And that's something we don't want to see happen again. And it's going to be, I know things are going to be crazy. We've reached the tipping point of the iceberg. So let us continue more Higurashi When They Cry. I'm going to turn the volume up a little bit. Hopefully it's decent. Hopefully it's good. I wonder how much time had passed since I last laid down. Since I lay down. It was getting dark outside. My body was soaked in sweat. It would probably be a good idea to change my sheets. At that moment, the phone downstairs rang. It was probably Mom. Mom was quite the worrywart. Maybe she had called many times, but I just didn't notice it.
Moshi, Maebara desu kedo.
Oh, 生きてた。もしもーし。
It's Mion.
ミオンだけど。具合はどう？
ケイイチのお友達ですか？ケイイチは休んでますけど。代わりましょうか？
お父様で？すみません。
バカで引っかかってやがるよ。
ケイちゃん？
After our exchange, we had both had a good laugh together. Except I was suspicious of her even as we were laughing. Was everybody really involved in the incidents? The fact that I couldn't say no saddened me.
元気そうで安心したよ。レナもすっごく心配してたよ。サトコはざまあないですわって喜んでたな。リカちゃんは病気でかわいそうですってさ。
チェ、みんなで勝手に大盛り上がりしてたみたいだな。
まあまあ。でさ、ケイちゃん、お見舞いに行っちゃ都合悪いかな。
お見舞い？いいよ、そんな重病人ってわけじゃないんだから。
うちのバッチャが山ほどおはぎを作ってさ、お裾分けに持ってけって言ってんだよ。だから持ってくね。
おいおい、風が移っても知らねえぞ。
おじさんもレナもおバカさんだから大丈夫。じゃあね、すぐ行くから。
She hung up cheerfully. Rena's coming too? That's what it sounded like. I was still concerned about meeting Rena, but I guess if she was with Mion, nothing bad should happen. I heard the doorbell 10 minutes later.
どんな感じ？ちゃんと薬飲んで寝てた？
そりゃもうしっかりとな。
元気そうでよかった。心配してたんだよ。
悪かったな。明日にはもう大丈夫だよ。
Mion showed a complete lack of concern for someone who's recovering, and Rena looked like she was worried for me from the bottom of her heart. It didn't look like there was anything behind those expressions.
ちょっとお邪魔しようかと思ったけど、まだ本調子じゃないみたいだね。
そうか?
It seemed my face appeared a bit sullen.
じゃあこれ、ケイチくん。みーちゃんのおばあちゃんが作ってくれたおはぎだよ。
Rena held out the package wrapped in newspaper. There might be about five in here. It was quite hefty.
サンキューな。ミオンのばあちゃんによろしく伝えといてくれよ。
その中にね、レナが作ったのも混じってるんだよ。ケイチくんに見つけられるかな。
これ、今日の部活を欠席したケイちゃんへの宿題ね。おはぎにアルファベットがついてるから、明日回答すること。
お見舞いなのか部活なのか、どっちかにしろ。
元気元気。これなら明日は大丈夫そうだね。
この騒ぎで熱がぶり返したらどうしてくれんだよ、まったく。
みーちゃん、あんまり騒いじゃ悪いよ。もう行こう。お家の人にも怒られるよ。
Both of them thought my parents were home, and it was because the entranceway was a mess.
そうだね。もう行こっかね。あ、そうそう、ケイちゃん。
なんだよ。
お昼、何食べた？
Oh, no, no, no. This is not happening again. The sudden question startled me, and I went wide-eyed when I saw Mion. I had never seen her like that. It was highly unsettling visage. But why is she asking me about what I ate for lunch? What she said was so insane, it was almost meaningless. The way she said it, it was almost like she didn't even care at all about what I ate.
表で食べたよ。
She must have suspected I was with Oishi-san. Oh my god. Anyway, I felt that if I hesitated or tried to change the subject when they read too deep into it, so I tried answering it as quickly as possible. Except, contrary to the efforts I had made, there was a pause before they replied.
ケイチくん、お昼は外食だったんだね。
Yeah, man, McDonald's was amazing. Nah, I'm just kidding. The glimmer of Rena's eyes had changed at some point as well. It was now sharp, as if to make me feel the feigned ignorance behind her words even more. As if she already knew. That's how it looked to me.
どう？美味しかった？
なんでそんなことを聞くんだよ。
Mion was speaking in an unusually low tone. Yeah, Mion, what are you doing? Almost as if she knew that I had eaten at the restaurant in town. No, I'm overthinking this. I mean, both of them should have been in school at lunchtime. There was no way they could have known where I was.
渋いおじさまとご一緒だったみたいだけど。誰？
Flop. The package with the mochi I had been holding slipped out of my hands. I could tell the blood had drained from my face, making me go pale.
へえ。ケイチくん、それ誰？ ひょっとして、この間の人かな。かな。
I could feel the back of my throat going dry. This was no longer a bluff. They knew everything.
なんでそんなことわかるんだよ。
It took everything I had to finally force out those words from my throat. My knees were shaking.
さーてね。おじさんにわからないことはないからね。
Well, she's right. Well, she's right. Mion sneered knowingly, and her laugh seemed to carry on forever.
で、ケイちゃん、何のお話をしてたの？ずいぶんと熱くなってたみたいだけど。
Shit. Holy crap, this is weird.
みんなの話はしてないよ。ミオンともレナとも関係ない。
聞いてもないのにレナたちの名前が出るなんて、なんだか怪しいな。
Rena's unwavering gaze pierced through my eyes and peered further inside me. I dug my own grave. My heart was throbbing so much, it felt like it was going to explode.
何を隠れてやろうとも、おじさんにはすべてお見通しってこと。それだけを忘れないでくれればいいかな。
I couldn't even shake my head. It took everything I had to stop my teeth from chattering. She never let her gaze break from mine, even as she tilted her head slightly.
ケイチくん、顔色悪いよ。
Of course, Rena.
もう横になった方がいいと思うな。
そうだね。私たちはもう帰ろう。
As if nothing had happened, they both giggled at each other and started making their way out. I hadn't moved a muscle since I had dropped the package of mochi. As they left, the door slowly closed behind them. All I could do was stare. As if I couldn't move until the door was completely closed. And just as the door was about closed, it opened again, slightly with a sudden creak, sending my heart racing once again. A single eye peered in through the narrow slit, and Mion's hawkish gaze peered at me once again.
じゃあね、ケイちゃん。
あ、
明日、学校休んじゃ嫌だよ。
Thud. The door closed. I wasn't able to move a muscle even after their low laughter died off into the distance, and silence once again enveloped the room. Coming back to my senses, the first thing I did was lock the door. They knew that Oishi-san and I talked about? Why? How? No, that wasn't important. Thinking about it now, all of it could have been overheard. All of it could have been overheard from the beginning when Oishi-san met me. Just as Mion said, I couldn't hide anything. Then what were they trying to tell me? That part was obvious. They were warning me not to say anything unnecessary. What did they deem unnecessary? I only talked to Oishi-san about one thing, and they were warning me that was unnecessary. What was it that Oishi-san talked to me about? The incidents involving Oyashiro-sama's curse that occurred every year weren't individual cases. but we're connected as a whole. As well as the fact that there may be multiple perpetrators hidden within Hinamizawa. No, more precisely, that Mion, Rena, Satoko, and Rika were all suspicious. Is that what they were warning me against?
何バカなこと考えてんだよ俺
I hit my own face hard enough to let out a loud slap. If only that would wake me up from this nightmare. But for some reason, it felt like I was punching a blanket. It was almost laughably painless. Calm down, Keiichi Maebara. When did I become such a pessimist? Calm down, calm down. Settle down and sort things out. The reason Mion knew that I was eating lunch with Oishi-san was probably because somebody from Hinamizawa just happened to be there at the time. They must have told Mion I was there. That made the most sense. But plus, come to think of it, she didn't ask me where I ate lunch, did she? She only asked, was it good? They were just curious since I was together with someone not from Hinamizawa. Is it not? It's not as if they had any ulterior motives. As if, that's it. That has to be it. Thinking about it that way, it was the same with Rena. I was just being strangely ambiguous when I met Oishi-san, and Rena was just correcting me on that. That's when I was bewildered by the change of character from the usual mild-mannered Rena, and I was just startled by it. That's the most unnatural way of thinking about it. It felt like my mind was mixed up like a tangled mess of spaghetti. Deep bread and marinara sauce would have poured down my nose and ears if you hadn't squeezed my head. Thinking that, suddenly I felt like vomiting. I really didn't want it to happen, so I stopped holding my head. Lately, I had no idea what anyone was saying. Spending time with them was fun. It didn't feel like that with any sort of hidden agenda. It didn't feel like there was any hidden agenda. I really do think that there are a bunch of good people. When I just moved here, I couldn't make heads or tails of everything. They were really kind to me. Rena was really kind and always looked after me. As long as there weren't strange affliction didn't rear its ugly head. But she was really pretty cute. Mion was also a really good person. She didn't care about anyone's age or gender and was optimistic and outgoing. I was never bored when I was with her. And talking of not getting bored, rambunctious Satoko was a good person for that too. She was a pretty bratty, but that's the way she's always interacted with others. And Rika-chan was the same way. She didn't speak often, but that didn't mean she was always silent. They're my friends. But after hearing the better untold secrets of Hinamizawa from Oishi-san and Tomitake-san, when I was told about the Oyashiro-sama's curse, things started going crazy. Then hearing from Oishi-san that Mion, Rena, Satoko, and Rika-chan were all suspicious. After that, everyone changed. That's right. It all started from getting weird after Oishi-san told me all that strange stuff. At that time, I really shouldn't have. Shouldn't have just not listened to those weird stories. I shouldn't have even asked Tomitake-san about the past incidents at the night of Watanagashi. If I just hadn't gotten that strange sense of curiosity, if I just hadn't. That's right. So that's why they fucked Tomitake. Or I don't know if it's killed. I don't know. That's why they messed up Tomitake-san. That impudent outsider speaking of the likes of me after everybody went out of their way to keep it a secret from me. They'd probably kill, or fuck, I don't know, Oishi-san as well. For trying to unearth what everybody was warning me was better left buried. Besides that, he was unforgivable for spewing words that made me doubt the others. Of course, a guy like that is going to get fucked. Or killed. I don't know. But though both Tomitaki-san and Oishi-san were nothing but outsiders after all, they were entities who couldn't coexist with the people of Hinamizawa. But those guys should just fall to Oyashiro-sama's curse and just die. It wasn't their fault. It was my fault for not being able to hold back my curiosity. It wasn't their fault. 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 I settled into a daze. It was a lethargic feeling that I had just gotten up, but the ominous chill that haunted me had subsided. I was fine now. I was no longer frightened. I had completely recovered. I'm going to school tomorrow, right as rain. I'll greet everyone. I'll take part in the club activities. It'll definitely be fun. It had to be fun. I was one of them after all.
あ、そうだ。おはぎ食べないと。どれがレナの手作りか当てないといけないんだよな。
I remember the homework that the two brought with them when they visited me. But wow, our club did delivery? That's something else. I picked up the package, I dropped it on the floor and headed to the living room. It would be nice, I guess, to have some tea with it. To fill my mouth with mochi while drinking tea. Oh. This is quite a delectable situation I was in. Opening up the newspaper wrapping, there were 5 plump red bean paste mochi fit snugly inside. There were letters written from left to right on the newspaper. A, B, C, D, and E. Now then. They said Rena made one of these. I wonder which one. There wasn't much difference between how they looked, and they smelled and appeared about the same. This was a pretty difficult problem. The biggest difference was probably their shape. I wasn't sure what kind of person Mion's grandma was, but Rena had to be different from hers. Looking carefully, I could see one mochi that was made very neatly. So well that, just by staring at it, one could tell it stood out.
この一個がレナのか否かが勝負の分かれ目みたいだな。
Calm down and think even harder. Mion had said her grandmother made a ton of them, so there was to give some out, if I remember correctly. So that meant 4 of these were from that large batch. Then what about Rena? She probably made 1. So she probably spent quite a bit of time on it. Meaning the one Rena had to be this one. E! For the moment, I thought that it may have been a trap Mion had laid as she knew I'd pick up on it. But that probably wasn't the case. I wouldn't be so sure if I knew Mion had made it. But since she said Rena made it, it probably wasn't a trap.
よし。お茶も準備 OK。
Oh yeah!
まずはディフェンディングチャンピオンのミオンのばあちゃんからだ。どれ？
Not bad. The smooth bean paste and soft, chewy texture left little to be desired. The tea I drank afterwards also insinuated the experience. This was quite an exquisite piece of work. How about Rena's? Her creation was so delicate that one would even think of a high-class Japanese dessert. Since I normally had quite the appetite, I was slightly worried about the size of the portion. But, well, first, a bite. This was quite a difficult one to judge, actually. The ingredients were exactly the same as they were a little different in flavor. What was different about it was how it was shaped at the end, so it was to be expected. So the deciding factors would be presentation and volume. The well-formed and well-sized champion versus Rena the challenger with a size you just can't get enough of. I'd only had 1 bite of Rena's. I would probably have to wait until after I was done eating to make my decision. Maybe. There was something inside that could cause an upset. It seems my prediction was right. My tongue touched something. It didn't feel like it was something edible, so I reached in my fingers and grabbed it. What? What was this? Before I could fully comprehend what it was, I threw away the rest of the mochi. I was eating as fast as I could. I slammed against the wall, causing the bean jam to splatter. Then, after sticking for a moment, it slid down to the floor. I was dumbstruck by my own actions. What was I doing? Rena had gone out of her way to make it for me. How could I? Dumbstruck, I looked down at the hand that performed such a vile act. Then I remembered what I had taken out of my mouth. I remembered what I took out of my mouth. At first I thought it was hair. Even though I thought it was shorter than Mion's, Rena's hair was still quite long. And it wasn't this short. It was also a bit too hard to be hair. It was thick enough to roll around on my tongue. There was a little bit of metallic sheet on one end of it. Ah, yes. There was a hole where a thread goes through, like it was a sewing needle. Yes, that's right. It looked very much like a sewing needle. Exactly like one. The end was pointed as well, quite sharply. It really did just look like a sewing needle. Huh. What did I mean by looked very much like a sewing needle just a bit ago? I couldn't answer. But a voice inside me already knew, and let me know by chattering my molars together. I couldn't stave off the terror welling up inside me. Suddenly I tasted something metallic and felt a pricking pain at the back of my throat. I stuck my finger in the back of my mouth and felt around to see if I was bleeding. Suddenly I felt the urge to vomit. The sharp taste of bile irritated the back of my throat. I clasped both hands over my mouth. After writhing in agony, I was somehow able to hold back the nausea. I was finally able to breathe normally again, but this time my heart was throbbing intensely. Then it finally registered. Exactly what was mixed in with the mochi. Exactly. Before I could think of the correct word, my hands were already on the move. Splat. Plop. Splort. I tossed the rest of the mochi against the wall. The geometrical patterns of the scattered bean jam on the wall suddenly invoked a terrible omen in my mind. After looking away, I dashed out of the hall and flew upstairs to my room, where I stayed under my covers until morning. I clutched my own shoulders, howling madly in a mix of fear, anger, sadness, and frustration. This wasn't a threat or warning or reminder, nothing simple as that. What had happened in Hinamizawa? What is happening in Hinamizawa? What would happen? I didn't know the answer to any of those questions. Where did I break a taboo? Regardless, now Rena and Mion and the others, they consider me an enemy. And they thought I should just die. I won't let you kill me. Not for such a pointless reason. I fell into a restless sleep. As I was crushed by my negative emotions. It was as if I was being drawn into a billowing, bottomless marsh. And this is it for episode 14. Thanks for watching. This is Daaro DS, and have a good one.